Hey, it's your girl KB back with a long time forgotten about Housewives of Salt Lake City review, y'all. Season 6, episode 11, Ladies Who Luncheon sequel, something like that. I be forgetting about this. I really do because I watch the show. I don't watch the show on time. Sometimes I be having to watch two at a time. So that's the main thing that keeps me off from not remembering because I don't remember to watch it on the schedule at all. We see the last episode, Mary was reopening her church after 2 years worth of renovations. She invites all of the ladies except for Brittany, which is hilarious but mean at the same time because she actually calls the girl to tell her, yeah, girl, I'm reopening my church and I'm inviting everybody but you. And you want to know why? Because on the boat, you said I was a terrible, ungodly woman. Okay? She's just like, well, yeah, at the time I meant that, but that was mean to say, so I apologize. So Mary still was like, all right, bye. And then she's like, oh, she apologized. Should I invite her? And she's talking to her dog, give me a paw if I should invite her. And the dog lays down. So needless to say, she don't invite Brittany. So when we saw them going into the church, baby, Angie knew half the people up there. I said, that is too cute. That means they really be hanging out. They are real friends because she knew them people up there. I was cracking up. And then we ended up seeing like a little mini scene where they at the gym together. And that made me think about when we saw them at the little dance class together in season 2 ago. I just love that cute little friendship. So after church, Mary is having a luncheon for the ladies. Of course, they're drinking 2003 Dom Perignon. You know she loves it. When Heather gets there, she says, the tears of the deceased. And they flash back. And I don't remember this scene at all. I don't even know if I was watching at the time. But I've heard her reference it, but not this way. They flash back to Mary saying, yeah, in 2003, there was a heat wave. 5,600 people died, but it made the best grapes ever. So I only drink 2003 Dom Perignon. That's the type of stuff Mary be saying, y'all. So, of course, they're still on the plane situation. They're confronting Meredith and Lisa together. Lisa's just like, because they were like, Lisa, you said nothing happened. Lisa said, oh, I didn't say nothing happened. I said that didn't happen. And Lisa has been very clear that Meredith was a bit excited, but she maintains that Meredith was talking to her and not to Brittany, okay? She was venting, not antagonizing, okay? That's Lisa's stance on it. Their claim is, yeah, that's what I said. They say that it went on for like 2 hours of her just being just vicious and mean. And why production go back to some clips of her being vicious and mean, although it's clearly not the scene from the plane, we see where she was climbing over that sprinter seat, screaming all in somebody's face. We know Meredith can go there, and she gets British when she does, okay? They're like, Meredith, her hair was wet and she was crying. We had to comfort her. Mary doesn't even like Brittany, but she was over there to comfort her. And then Meredith was like, I watched 2 movies and I slept. There's no way I antagonized her for 2 hours. And I think Heather was like, what movies did you watch? I watched Crazy Rich Asians and I don't remember the second one. You didn't remember what movie you watched? No, I don't remember. I was sleeping. Were you talking in your sleep? So what happened in Crazy Rich Asians? You expect me to remember the movie? I don't know. And she's like, I remember movies I watched. Yeah, I remember movies I watched. And she has no idea what happened in this movie. So essentially, she got that movie on and started screaming about Britney. She don't know nothing about this movie. They asked Lisa, did you watch the movie? Lisa gives the plot of the movie. But I'm like, this ain't saying that she watched it on the plane. That's just saying she's watched it in general. She could have still been antagonizing that girl while y'all was both playing that movie on y'all screen, not necessarily watching it. So Meredith is just like, each other. We don't like each other. She came from my marriage. I was upset. I might have said some things, whatever. We don't like each other, and we don't have to be friends, y'all. Heather's like, well, you lost the right to be mad after you terrorized her. You can no longer be mad about her comments. I said, not that we're trying to erase the beginning because the middle was crazy. Like, what? That's not how we're doing. They end up asking Lisa because I think Lisa was coasting too much for them. So they end up being like, and Lisa, back to you. Why didn't you go through customs with us? Okay. And then she's like, well, so what happened? Like, I have global entry, but I didn't realize I had global entry. So you waited in line for 5 hours when you could have just used your global entry? Whitney is in the confessional like, you know what the thing about this lie is? It's such a crazy lie because global entry isn't something you have to add. It's just something that's there. Like when your information pops up, you'll have global entry. Like it's just so bad it's good. Whitney was cracking me up. So they're like, girl, you really waited 5 hours when you could have did global entry. She was just like, I had my headphones in and yeah, I was listening to Kendrick Lamar. And Mary said, not Kendrick. And I said the same thing at the same time. She said, yeah, I'm a Kendrick girl. Yeah, I'm a Kendrick girl. Baby, I was weak. Okay, that's all I really got from this conversation. There was a lot more. This was half the episode. Half the episode was that table. So there was lots more to be talked about, but they was just talking in circles. I think the only other thing, they somebody was like, well, Meredith, Whitney said this. Whitney said this. And Whitney's like, who said it? I only talked to one person, so it's only one person that it could be. Say something. Meredith ain't saying nothing. And Brian was like, well, Meredith, if you're not going to say it, I'll say it. It was me. And she calls herself trying to go out on a limb to save Meredith about what was translated. But Meredith could care less about Bronwyn and saving her. So now Bronwyn is like, Meredith, now I've ruined my friendship with Whitney to try to help you out. Girl, that's your fault for being messy. You should have thought about that. Because, yeah. Next, we see Lisa and Meredith at the nail salon. They're debriefing about brunch. They basically are just gagged at Heather and Whitney's antics, okay? The antics and audacity, okay? Whitney and her essentially trying to say that she got a substance abuse accusation. You know, it was real low of her. Heather and her interrogations. When did she become a lawyer? Okay, they talk about Brittany and all of the mess. She's like, you know, I actually feel bad for her. Like, she doesn't have a man. Her kid doesn't like her. Her business is failing. She can't find a job. We don't like her. She doesn't have any friends. She's like really a sad specimen. I feel sorry for her. I said, not a specimen. Not a sad specimen. Y'all, this next part was insane. Insane to me for so many reasons, okay? Heather and that nasty ass mattress. I was stunned. Have you no shame to do this on camera? Baby, you couldn't have paid me to take that stained, nasty, pissy 20-year-old mattress out for the cameras to see. 20 years of mattress is insane. The way you can go down to Sam's and Costco on a Memorial Day sale and get some good mattresses for half off, and you out here 20 years of mattress, I was disgusted off of that alone. 10 is pushing it. I think you're supposed to replace them every like 5 to 7 on a good mattress. 10 is absolutely pushing it. 20 is insane, especially when you're on TV. You have money to buy a new freaking mattress. You've got books. Your season, what season is this? 6. Season 6. So I was just stunned at that scene for so many reasons. But Heather calls Whitney over there. They dressed for a funeral. She got a U-Haul. And what? I don't know what that's supposed to be. They got a U-Haul to get this mattress out. She said this was the mattress that she had when she first got with her husband or something along those lines. When they got their first place together or something. I was just like, girl, what? So they taking the mattress out, and she's like, turn the mattress around so that the stain isn't facing the cameras. Girl, we done seen it now. They got all the stain footage they need now. She said, I killed a lot of men on that thing. And chickens. I said, chickens? Girl, you need to stop playing. You need to stop playing. So Whitney was mad that Bronwyn told Lisa what she said, of course. Blah, blah, blah. What else? Anywho, Brittany is still recovering from what happened to her on the plane, but now she is being an adult and a parent and is focusing on her daughter and not this friend group and not a man, okay? Her daughter, Olivia, and her, they are in therapy. The therapist is like, okay, who wants to start? Olivia's like, I'll start. She's real eager, like, yeah. She says that her mom was a good mom, a great mom, until she divorced her dad. After that, she moved on quickly, and when she did find a new man, new husband, she devoted herself entirely to that man and his kids, okay? She didn't even celebrate their wins anymore. She celebrated the stepkids' wins. She could care less about her own kids because she's trying to impress a man. So she said, girl, I want to go stay with my daddy. I said, I can go where I'm appreciated. I don't care. And apparently Brittany didn't care either, because I think she said it was 7 years. 7 years that you like, forget my own kids, let me take care of this new man's kids. And then you divorce that man and you like, oh dang, where my own kids at? Girl, what? I Olivia is hopeful. She does want to rekindle some type of relationship with her mom, but she does feel like it's essentially going to be more hurt than help. Okay, but she's still going to try. She's still going to give it an effort. They discuss what the daughter wants out of this relationship and out of therapy for this relationship and everything. And the therapist is like, and Brittany, you too. What do you want out of this? And she said, oh, I don't want anything. She's like, girl, that's not how therapy works. Like, you have to get something out of it. And Brittany straight up said that she doesn't feel like she's worthy or deserving to ask of anything. And the daughter said, it's funny you should say that, because yeah, I agree. You can't ask me of nothing. Okay, the fact that I'm here is all you gonna get, okay? The way you still put a man before me. I had to beg you to take a fast from a man that don't bring you nothing but trouble. So I ain't got to bring nothing more to this table than my presence, okay? So yeah, no, I get it, therapist lady, but she got catching up to do. I said, come on, Olivia. Reclaim your time. Reclaim your mama. Reclaim your space, okay? And claim emotional maturity that your mother needs, okay? Brittany admits that she still feels guilty about how she raised her daughter, because the daughter said that for a while she felt unlovable because her mama didn't even pay attention to her and love her. So next let's talk about Bronwyn. She her little story over the episodes I've missed, they said somebody on the internet said that Todd was caught cheating because he was looking at pictures of women on his phone and somebody on the airplane saw him. I said, is that cheating? Like, was it a woman sending him them pictures, or was he just looking at pictures on the internet? Like, it's real unclear, but they're calling it cheating. Bronwyn is just like, okay, if he wants an open marriage, we could do that. I'm not opposed to that. We could do that. So she presents it to him, and he like, nah, we straight. I said, dang, no outside for you unless you just gonna have to cheat and call it cheating, okay? She's really crying out for help in that little tacky, expensive living room, okay? We see Bronwyn go out with her daughter and her mom with Mimsy, something like that. The daughter talking about she got a lizard and she want the lizard to go on dates. Okay, I said not a maiden date. You online talking about, hey, I got a male such and such lizard. Anybody trying to hook the lizards up? I'll travel. I'll travel for these lizard dates. Like, girl, don't get yourself murdered. What? Her mom and daughter both have plans to move out. Bronwyn is distraught because she's never lived alone. And I said, your husband's still there now. Like, you wouldn't technically be alone, but I guess that just shows you how terrible the marriage is. She considers being with him as being alone. She's never lived alone. She said she went straight from high school to college with a roommate, short stint there, and got pregnant. Always had her daughter with her. She ain't never been alone. She's trying to convince her mom to stay. And she said, what is it? Is it Todd? Because I can get rid of him. Mumsy laughs and said, oh, I got a feeling he's going to be the one to divorce you and leave you before you leave him. Bronwyn says, don't threaten me with a good time. I said, oh my gosh. So yeah, that's confirmation that Bronwyn is just setting up her case to go to the lawyers and be like, look, Judge, I did everything I could to try to make this marriage work. I was even willing to have an open relationship. I did this, I did that, and I should just get all of his money. All of it. All of it. You know what I mean? This is what Bronwyn is giving at this point. She understands her daughter gotta go out and spread her wings, but she's sad because she's like, for her, these are the best of times. These are the best days of her life. But for her daughter is still seeking the best days of her life. And she was just like, oh, I was so sad by it. And I was like, how weird of y'all to be this attached to you couldn't possibly think that she was thinking that she's having the best time of her life still living at home with you. The daughter plans on moving to Portland. Lastly, we see Meredith and Brittany meet up to fake smooth things over. Meredith's just like, it's the fact that you came for my marriage and pretending that, you're doing it to help when your aim was to hurt me with the rumors and nastiness, okay? They apologize and move on for now. Elfin, okay? Elfin. So this might work because, well, Salt Lake City sometimes do be giving. Sometimes it's definitely giving 15-minute reviews. Sometimes it's giving, I might be on his longer for half an hour type deal. But yeah, y'all, right now on the docket, we're going to see how it works and stays. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Love and Marriage Huntsville, Real Housewives of Potomac, and Married to Medicine. And Sisters. Yikes. 5 shows is crazy. So we're going to see how it shake out. Potomac and Married to Medicine will most likely be weekly for sure. The other 3, it might get to a every other week type deal. But like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video, comment. Let me know if you're watching Salt Lake City, or if you like, girl, don't even stress yourself out about it. We ain't watching it. Or if you like, I'm going to watch whatever you drop. Let me know, shorties. See y'all in the next one, babe.